Hey there, so this is Jason Rutherford, Managing Partner of Model Technology Solutions. Today I wanted to show you one of the releases, I guess it was announced at Ignite this year, the release of Endpoint Manager, which is basically a joining together of what is formerly known as Microsoft's SCCM, SMS, if you go that far back, and Intune. And essentially, co-management is the future. I know that there was some talk about what the best way to go if you have SCCM and Intune together, but it's going to be co-management. And with that, Microsoft released a device management admin center. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at that. But before we do, one thing to note is though that some of the licensing has changed. So licensing is always kind of is challenging to follow, but they're trying to simplify it, make it easier, and give you the software that you need to be able to manage your devices. So if we go into the admin center, so admin.microsoft.com if you're not familiar, and you open up the admin centers, you'll see device management. And so if you go to the device management admin center, you'll see something that looks somewhat familiar if you're an Intune resource. So what I'll do is I'll just go to portal.azure.com real quick and show you some of the differences here. So this is the device management admin center that Microsoft has provided, and I'm sure this will continually get a bunch of updates. So notice there are some new things. Guided scenarios is an example of a new thing that will kind of walk you through some of configuration and pieces of it. They've consolidated the left-hand menu bar. So if we go to Intune and we take a look, we can see that there's a lot of things kind of all jumbled together, and you'll see things like policy sets, for example, here in Intune, and you'll see that there's the test edge that I created from earlier today, and then policy sets over here are going to be under apps and policy. And so there's some new features and things to be aware of beyond just some of the navigational components, but essentially, if we are in the admin center, you'll notice that it's just gotten a big facelift. And so this is, but you have devices like you would normally see, and then you have policy configurations in here. So all the things that you're used to seeing might just be shuffled around a little bit. And you also notice that you can get two policy sets from a variety of different ways. So you can get different devices from apps, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so here's where you would configure. If we look at all the Windows devices, all the Windows apps rather, sorry, I'm under apps. If you look at Windows apps, you can see all the Windows apps that we have, whether they're assigned or not, if they're from the store for business, or if they're configured as a Win32 app, etc. But let's jump around just to give you kind of a preview of what this looks like. And again, some things are new, some things have been around for a while. If we go back to the dashboard, create your own dashboard, configure it how you want, to introduce you to what it looks like inside of the device management admin center, which will be Endpoint Manager moving forward. So this is going to be a good way to manage your devices, with the on-prem component being SCCM and the cloud components being Intune. So there's going to be about 6 more videos to follow where I will actually go through in a lot of different detail, all of the different configurations, from apps to configurations to profiles, setting up restrictions, setting up enrollments, auto enrollments, auto configuration, co-management, software updates. So we will go through, we'll run through all the different features and functionality that you can do in way more in depth. But first things first, I wanted to make sure that I at least got something out here to show you some of the very basics. All right, we'll see you next time.